Hello and welcome to it. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela here. The stories we're tracking for you this evening. With voter registration taking place this weekend, the IEC says South Africans will not need proof of residence to register. As American chicken begins flying off supermarket shelves, government reassures South African consumers that it is safe. To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct. Our hashtags this evening, IEC and AGOA. We start with this. The Constitutional Court has denied Oscar Pistorius leave to appeal his murder conviction. The court says the defense had no reasonable grounds of success. He will be sentenced in April. Pistorius shot and killed Riva Steenkamp just over 3 years ago. He was found guilty of culpable homicide, but in December, the Supreme Court of Appeal changed his conviction to that of murder. The Independent Electoral Commission says South Africans will not have to provide proof of residence when they register to vote this weekend. But those without a formal address will need to provide details of where they live. That's to allow IEC officials to check if they're registering in the correct voting district.
The IEC is confident everything's on track for this weekend's voter registration campaign. Millions of registration forms have been delivered to more than 22,000 voting stations across the country. One of the big concerns ahead of the polls is voters' addresses.
Voters without formal addresses will be required to complete and sign an affirmation form called the Reg AS, accompanying the registration form, or Reg 1, in which they attest to the fact that they do in fact live in that relevant voting district.
Earlier this week, the IEC announced it would be filing an urgent appeal at the Constitutional Court after it was forced to postpone by-elections in Potchefstroom in the northwest. More than 4,000 addresses are missing from the voters' roll in the Tlokwe municipality. The Commission has emphasized that people are only allowed to vote where they live.
Clearly, if persons intend registering outside of their voting district of ordinary residence, we, to the extent that they may have done so incorrectly in the past, will correct that. But to do so knowingly is a criminal offense.
The IEC says more than 9 million South Africans who are eligible to vote are currently not registered. And this year, it's hoping to reach these people by setting up more voting stations. John Bailey, Pretoria.
Government has noted South African consumers crying foul over American chicken imports, but says the products are 100% safe. The first U.S. chicken hit local supermarket shelves last week for the first time in 15 years. The Trade and Industry Ministry says concerns over the safety of imported chicken is low on its pecking order.
Chicken is a South African staple. The average South African eats about 38 kilograms of chicken a year. And now the American chicken has not only crossed the road, it crossed the Atlantic Ocean to get on your plate. For the first time in more than a decade, chicken imported from the US is being sold in local supermarkets. It's one of the outcomes of the American AGOA Trade Pact, which gives South Africa access to American markets, while the US is allowed to sell excess agricultural products here. Government says South Africa imports chicken from various countries, with the country of origin clearly indicated on the packaging.
But that's if you buy it in the supermarkets. Obviously, if it goes into the catering industry, that'll be a different story.
The Trade and Industry Department says inspectors are given free range to test all meat upon entry into the country.
Poultry, beef and pork will meet both our own standards and the international standards of the OIE. And our vets have ensured that that will happen. In addition, the vets will continue to undertake the normal process of sampling each consignment as it comes through.
Davies says the AGOA agreement is a benefit to South Africa, who for the next 9.5 years has access to the lucrative American market with little or no restrictions. Lester Kivat, Parliament.
The Fidelity Security Group has launched an inquiry following a physical brawl between human resource officers and another staff member over a pay dispute. The incident was caught on camera and the victim has since laid charges.
A scuffle between two senior members of the Fidelity Security Group and an employed security guard. One of them is an HR manager at the security company. Mandilake Ngakamba claims to have not been paid by the company for a 5-day job.
That day, Mr. Pistorius came to me. He said he wants to take me to TFG. So I said, no, sir, I can't go there. Reason being, I've worked there, but I haven't been paid for 5 consecutive shifts. So for that reason, I cannot go back there. So that's when he started calling the other managers. They came on to me. They said if I'm not going there, they're going to have to hit me or they're going to have to put the handcuffs on me. So I told them they can't put handcuffs on me because I didn't steal anything.
Ngakamba says he's suffering from chest pains as well as emotional trauma.
The main thing that they were saying is that are full of. That's what they kept on saying. When I'm breathing, it's hard to breathe because that guy punched me here. So it's very difficult for me. And my back, where they held his knee on my back.
Fidelity CEO Val Bartman condemns the incident.
The company has suspended 2 staff members as well as the security guard. An internal inquiry has been launched to investigate the matter.
Ngakamba has laid assault charges against the senior officials, but no arrests have yet been made. Team Tongana, Cape Town.
Now imagine an app that accurately tests your hearing without having to go to a clinic. As we mark World Hearing Day today, a professor from the University of Pretoria is encouraging South Africans to get their ears checked.
How good is your hearing? Well, this app can tell you. HearZA is a free hearing test developed by Professor Swanepoel from the University of Pretoria. He says early detection is vital in getting the best possible outcome and preventing further damage to your auditory senses.
Hearing loss is closely associated with things like social isolation, with depression, but the second most important cause of hearing loss is actually noise-induced hearing loss.
The app is simple to use. Press start, listen to the numbers being called out.
3, 7, 8.
Type what you've heard. Then 2 minutes later, you get your score.
66, 64, 48%.
And if you fail the test, the app recommends the closest health providers. But not everyone makes the follow-up.
Social stigma around hearing loss can prevent people from getting the help they need for fear of being discriminated against.
But with over 3 million South Africans affected by hearing loss,
experts say it's crucial to take care of your hearing, particularly while you are still young.
People who wear hearing aids are viewed differently than people who wear glasses.
But with trendy new colors and designs, Swanepoel believes one should be proud to wear the high-tech devices. Lindwe Sitole, Pretoria.
A quick look at world news now, and Istanbul police say they killed 2 female militants today after the pair launched a gunfire and grenade attack on a police bus. The attackers were cornered after they fled into a nearby apartment block. No one has claimed responsibility, but it's being reported the attackers were from the outlawed Revolutionary People Liberation Party front, who want to install a Marxist government. Reports from South Korea today that North Korea fired 6 short-range missiles into the sea just hours after the United Nations imposed tough new sanctions. The UN Security Council voted unanimously for the sanctions, a response to North Korea's recent nuclear test and satellite launch, both of which violated existing sanctions. Right, let's see what's hot on social media now. And the ANC's Johannesburg branch got into trouble after tweeting a rather provocative picture. It showed a woman dressed in a tiny swimsuit in the party's colors. Now, some people say it objectifies women's bodies, and the party has since apologized. It's one of our top stories, and the South African government has reassured consumers that chicken imported from the US is safe. And in our poll tonight, we asked if you care whether the chicken you eat is produced locally or imported from the United States. And so far, 66% of the people saying I do, 11% I don't, 11% gives me choice, and 12% not bothered. Now remember, for these stories and more, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct, or head on over to our website. That's enca.com/direct. Welcome back. Money Matters now. An Anglo-American may have found a buyer for some of its assets. Coal and iron ore miner Exxaro has shown interest despite posting a drop in profits. Anglo has put up some of its assets for sale as it shifts focus to platinum, diamonds and copper. Exxaro believes it could make a bid to extend its share in Anglo's Kumba iron ore business. It currently owns a minority stake in the company that runs one of the largest open pit mines in the world. Exxaro has cut expenditure by 807 million rand, with a further 300 million rand to be spared this year. And with that, let's see how the markets performed today. Let's check in with the Weather Center. Here's Joel Guy.
Welcome to the Weather Center. Here's a quick look at what transpired this afternoon. On our latest cloud picture, we had storm clouds popping up across the northwestern parts of the country, pushing down into southeastern South Africa. Now, on Friday, we start off the day with drizzly weather along the east coast of the Eastern Cape, spreading into southern KwaZulu-Natal towards the evening hours. In the meantime, we are going to stay with isolated thunder showers across northwestern South Africa, extending down into western KwaZulu-Natal and the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape. It's going to stay partly cloudy and dry for the northeast, while sunny weather continues for the southwestern areas. Now we're expecting partly cloudy skies for KwaZulu-Natal with thunder showers over the western sections, partly cloudy and dry for the coastal areas where Durban will peak at around 30 degrees. Partly cloudy skies are also forecast for much of the Eastern Cape, thunder showers extending from Queenstown into Mthatha, Elliot and Matatiele. Drizzly weather for parts of the coastal areas. Port Elizabeth will be dry with a high of around 27. It's going to be sunny and sizzling hot across the bulk of the Western Cape. Cape Town will also have clear skies and a high of around 32 degrees. Thunder showers are forecast in the Northern Cape from Appington into the Kimberley area, where a high of 35 is expected. The thunder showers are also forecast to spread eastwards into much of the Free State. Bloemfontein should warm to around 34 degrees. We are also expecting thunder showers for the western and southern parts of the northwest. Rustenburg gets away with partly cloudy skies and a high of around 35. It's going to be dry and hot across much of Limpopo, Lephalale, Musina and Palabora, making it to around 36 degrees. Partly cloud and dry weather is forecast across Mpumalanga. A high of 33 is forecast for Mbombela. Similar weather for Gauteng, where Pretoria warms up to around 34 degrees. On Saturday, we are going to see thunder showers across the western interior. It's going to be partly cloudy, dry and hot in Gauteng. Then on Sunday, similar weather is forecast for the western areas.
Thank you, Joel. Coming up after the break, local celebrities get ready to put their money where their mouths are as Lip Sync Battle Africa hits South African screens. On a lighter note, local entertainer Pearl Thusi and Nigerian musician D'banj have been named hosts of Lip Sync Battle Africa.
They have indeed. The American TV show that sees celebrities face off in a lip sync showdown is set to hit South African screens next month. Let's take a look at what viewers can expect come April.
You've been hitting me up at LLCoolJ on Twitter and asking me when you're going to get your own version of Lip Sync Battle, and you'll be getting your own version in April on MTV and ETV. Lip Sync Battle is coming.
The popular competition sees celebrities face off with lip-sync performances. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it goes a little like this. The American version has had record-breaking success with rapper cum actor LL Cool J as host. Now, local producers say they've had no choice but to bring it to our screens.
The format is just a no-brainer in a lot of ways because it really creates an opportunity for you, the consumer, and the celebrities that you like to see them in a different context.
And the much-anticipated show hosts are...
I feel just so privileged to be, called upon to, especially the role I'm playing. It's such an important role that I just feel like, for the first time, African Michael Jackson, I'll be chilling. She's doing it.
It's only occurring to me now that the hard work is not ours. We just have to introduce, tell the people what's up, the audience decides who wins.
Let us know on @ENCA and @eNews Direct on who you'd like to see lip sync their careers away. Nontabegos BC, Johannesburg.
A reminder of the day's top stories before we say goodbye. The Constitutional Court has denied Oscar Pistorius leave to appeal his murder conviction. As American chicken begins flying off supermarket shelves, government makes efforts to reassure consumers that U.S. imports are safe. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
Yep, we're back at tomorrow same time. Still on the way, Rhythm City.
Remember though, you can share your views with us. Do send us an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
You can just talk to us on Twitter and Facebook, and the handle that you need is @eNewsDirect.
Until tomorrow night, have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.